You can fly, but you'll never get closer to the sun. You may rise at the price of everyone else falling down, but I'm not going down with you. So you may rise, but you'll never make me wanna stick around you. Won't let you fire me, won't let you drag me down. I won't even let the power that you own burn down the city, let it into the storm.
Tell me what's the point if I lose myself? Spend a couple days with nobody else, holding in my breath just to see if I can find you in my dreams. Oh, I'm getting tired of losing faith in everything I see.
Welcome to Galaxy.
Which is the best name so far is Angie, which I've already seen in the chat a few times. Yeah, okay, here's another team name that was the talk of the commentary before we went live. Braum Lives Matter, taking a very social approach.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they pick it every single game, and if the enemy team picks it, they can't kill the Braum, right? Like, they gotta keep that Braum alive the entire time. We got another Conduit team. We got Conduit Prime.
Organization is dropping point Hellfire. I've been spending some time with these players, and I'm kind of excited what they bring to coordinated play. Next team has seen a lot of time on LXC.
Welcome to LXC.
First team
So,
going into Sector 1 is going to be NLE Marauders.
Summoners After Dark.
Yeah, so Bare Minimum is also going to go to Sector 1 because Bare Minimum and Summoners After Dark are actually part of the same org. They're both from New Origin.
Gotcha.
We got another Conduit. Cross my fingers for the other Slayer to be added.
No, you don't have to do that. No, that's okay. Galaxy Gaming, however, OMT Zeus, the favorite org to talk about every time. Roger.
We got Contingent Yellow.
Okay, so Divine Temple we've seen before. Oh yeah, they won the charity event. Of course.
After first, I called Clay's Monkey. Jinxed
Oh,
it right
nope.
there.
Okay, Slayer will not be facing Slayer until at earliest the playoffs. Now, Cloud Gaming, I'm hearing, is pretty big org.
Prodigies. Oh yeah, I recognize the name.
Like we're gonna talk about dropping point first, and that'll be Syndicate Strokers. Now, Strokers, I believe, has played in this league before. They won it, in fact. Welcome to LXC. It's week 1 for the Season 2 Summer Split for Crusader. It's going to be the first game for these players, and we're watching Divine Temple versus Blood Moon. I'm Scarlet Q, and I'm going to be casting today with Noah. So,
hey
hello,
guys,
Noah.
what's up? Day 2. We're hopefully it'll be just as good as the first time I did it. So still a little fresh, but still very, very excited. I mean, both teams look very exciting. I mean, looking at the OP.GGs, I mean, a lot of talent everywhere. So I mean, we'll have to see which team comes out on top. I really don't have a decision on who I think is going to win at this point right now. So
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Week 1 is all about just kind of listening and learning about the teams. Nothing to bring, no baggage from the previous weeks. Just maybe the last split, especially for someone like Wuxi, who definitely is famous around these parts. But for the most part, it's a fresh start for everyone. So really gonna make their mark today.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm just like scrolling through the OP.GGs. I'm looking through, I think I'm looking at Divine Temples right now. I just saw Gragas 23 games played on the support. I mean, Gragas support. I mean, definitely not something I've seen in a lot of competitive games, but I'm definitely like excited. I mean, like, how tilting would it be to die to Gragas support? Very, very, very tilting. I feel like if I see Gragas support just beating me down. So
Yeah,
I'm hoping we see that today. I mean, I just want to see how good it is. I mean, for the team comps that they're going to come up with. I mean, is there anything
it also
you're
gets a bonus. It also gets a bonus
bonus?
whenever you're talking about competitive like this, where it's a flex, right? So like in solo queue, maybe there's a little bit. I don't know where that Gragas is going, but here it's even harder to draft around whenever you're trying to do, competitive drafting. And there's a Gragas showing, and you don't know where it's going.
Yeah, no, definitely a flex for sure. 3-4 roll flex champion. I mean, mostly played towards the top lane in the jungle. I mean, that I've seen recently, mostly like top. But support Gragas, I mean, definitely doable. I can tell you that much. He has a knockup, two knockups even, and a lot of damage. Man heals like a tank and he hits like a mage. So very, very dangerous. I mean, I'm just looking around because I'm just scrolling, trying to get myself like immersed in this game, get myself emotionally prepared. I mean, I think we got Gragas support. I see a lot of Vel'Koz in a guy here. Mr. Seeker, I hear you might be playing for Divine tonight, possibly. I mean, Vel'Koz definitely a hard champ to play, I think, but when a player knows how to play Vel'Koz, like I'm hoping Seeker does, it looks like he does at a 57% win rate. Like that champion is very, very brutal and very punishing. So maybe we'll see. Maybe the Gragas support, maybe Vel'Koz support. I love a good support, man. I don't know. I'm talking so much about it. It just shows you how much I watch it. I mean, looking at this OP.GG, is there anybody that like sticks out to you personally? I mean,
Well, honestly, I was gonna take it in a different direction entirely. I think something that we really should be talking about is that the patch came out yesterday, and that's
oh,
super
true.
unique for a league like this, like LCS. Everyone's on the same patch for and they've got a few weeks to prepare. I think LCS is live now, of course, but
Uh-huh.
it's gonna be new for everyone. They've got one day to see what's going on, and now
Yes.
everything is a little bit different, especially the Tristana mid nerf.
Oh,
I'm looking at Smolder buff, which is kind of exciting, maybe not,
dude.
depending on who you are.
Yeah, I mean the patch that itself, when I was looking at like just the base of like who's getting buffed, who's getting nerfed, the buffs just made me angry because like I'm a mage player, control mid mage player, and all I see is Jace, assassins, Smolder, and Shogath, and I was like, wow. Thanks for making my game way more unplayable. I mean, control mages are already with the AD, Tristana, and the Corki. They haven't been really as good. But the Tristana nerf, I think, is brutal. I think she's probably gonna be less played in mid, maybe just playable. She won't be as much pick and ban as what we've seen. But Corki, I think, we'll still be seeing a lot of. I think the major thing I know, just in this elo and the elos like below, not as much maybe in pro play, but the AP junglers got really big nerf. The brand, I'm glad to see. Good riddance. Zyra as well. I mean, I saw some of it yesterday in the Argon League or the Iron Bronze Silver Gold League. I saw some Zyra being played. I don't think that's going to be happening as much anymore, So I
No.
think we'll definitely see a resurgence of more tank junglers because I don't think the Warmog's nerfs, the reworks on the Warmog's like passive nerf, it's not as bad for them because they just build a
It's
lot of
mostly
HP
supports.
anyways. It's more for support and chanter nerfs. I mean, so they're not all building it. Because Warmogs is just so broken. There's a lot of HP to regen. But yeah, no, the patch. I can't wait to see what the new champ does in competitive. I mean, she'll be interesting. A ranged top laner can't hurt.
Yes, but that will be not enabled this week. It'll be enabled
No.
week 3 for all of our leagues.
Yes, that is correct.
So unfortunately, even if you're excited for the patch, you're gonna have to wait a little bit on that specific part of it. But
Yes,
something I
of
was
course.
excited for the patch that could be relevant today is the Hecarim buffs. We're talking about
yes,
the
I
jungles.
did.
Not gonna
I
be playing
love
the AP jungle anymore. Hecarim buffs, though, pretty exciting.
No, very, very exciting. I mean, Hecarim is like, honestly, he goes good with so many mages. A lot of setup play can be done with Hecarim. I mean, just him being able to dive in and kite out while just getting a bunch of HP back. Like he can build so many different things is what makes Hecarim so good. I mean, he could be a tank, like just a regenerating health tank. He could be an assassin. He could be your front line, right? Like he's whatever you need him to be. And when Hecarim's in a good spot, he's just usually like a top 3 jungler when it comes to competitive. So I am very excited to see Hecarim. I mean, I think the junglers we're probably going to see is going to be like Hecarim. I mean, Sejuani is very good right now. I think Amumu is playable. I think Gragas could be good. There's a lot of any tank jungler. Just throw them in there. They'll be fine. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked a lot at these sheets yet, but yeah, Hecarim definitely. I want to see it. I want to see it. Hecarim, Oriana, just ult in, blow everybody up. It'll be really great to see. I mean, very great for the game when Hecarim is good.
I also was interested in what it would be like for the supports as well. You didn't mention the Warmogs nerf. Yes, Warmogs is definitely a really powerful item for supports, but now they get to go back to their, bread and butter a little bit
Yeah.
and be impactful in different ways. So yes, you're not going to be able to play Gragas and just tank everything, but you can
Mhm.
play, Lulu, your favorite Yumi, and other
Yes, of
mage
course.
supports or like anything else that
I
can use things other than Warmogs.
Yes, definitely. I like to see. I think everybody likes a good bunch of variation when it comes to items and having the freedom to not only have to like have the need to build like the same item every game. I do expect tank supports to still build Warmogs. I just don't think it might be the first item. It could be item number two. But I just don't
Mm-hmm.
want to see Renata and Zillion building Warmogs. Like, stop. Just stop. Just build Shirelia's, even though it's got nerfed. Just build it and make me fast. But yeah, the Yumi, I don't want to see Yumi. Please don't play it. Champion is if
But
it's
she's got a new
good.
skin.
If you are a Yumi main, I don't want to talk to you. But you play whatever makes you happy. That's what gaming is about, and the competitive spirit. I love that. Can't take you down for that one. But we will. I'm wondering what kind of ADCs we'll see because the ADC meta. I feel like if an ADC gets ahead, it's kind of you just make everybody else pay. I think it's very much a bot centric meta right now because mid is pretty much farm matchup. Top is usually a tank or a bruiser, two bruisers going at it. It's a bot centric meta. If you can get your ADC ahead, it's over. I'm seeing that on the side for Squigs, he plays a lot of Caitlyn, a lot of Corki, but I'm seeing Kaisa and MF and Jinx as well. Like very, very. Oh, I don't even think Squigs is not playing ADC. I am just trolling today, guys. Resilient
Well,
is their ADC, but he plays a lot of Jinx. Jinx is very, very good. Top 580 carry probably in the game right now. But I
yeah,
do think I'd like to see some Kaisa. I think Kaisa is the most entertaining AD carry in the game with her ultimate, and I think a
it is
lot
a
of teams like
little.
to play dive. So
It is a little bit harder to play her with the AD mids getting nerfed. Although you said the assassins are a little bit better, maybe Jace.
Assassins, yeah, they did buff Zed a little bit, and they did buff Jace, but I do think Zed is very hard to play into competitive because if he's a very much there's like a really weird understanding of champions when it comes to competitive play, right? And it's like there's champions that are just solo queue centric games because they play so sporadic. It's so not consistent. So Zed, the Shaco's, right? Like Shaco could be a good champ, but he doesn't fit into what a comp wants to do, right? And I think Zed just falls under the need of those champs, and he doesn't have a lot of utility. So I don't think we'll ever see him like in elite. It's possible. I just think that I would be more under. I would understand it more if there's more mages picked now than the 80 carries, but I'd still see Corky interest in mid lane. They're just comfortable. I just want to know how much that Q nerf on Tristana because she got a Q nerf from 0 mana to 50 mana, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so you can't use her. She can't just blow somebody up as soon as that's on cooldown, or she can't keep staying in lane while with just Q and just push the wave that way. I'm very interested to see what happens there. But
Oh,
Kaisa
that Kaisa,
definitely.
you excited to see it, and now it's gone.
No, yep, it's gone.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. I'm just yapping today, and they're taking away my Kaisa before I can even look at it. Yeah, but we will see.
It's interesting. There's a lot of AP bans here. I guess they still expect CG Blood Moon to go AD mid.
Mhm.
And it does look like when I was looking at the AD carry for CG, that they were playing a lot of AP Brand, Kaisa. So I'm curious to see if they put in the practice on something a little bit different. Zillion's still banned as well.
Yeah.
So
Which link is the spec link? I didn't click it. Okay, cool. Appreciate it. No, we're a little behind the schedule till that. Oh, all right, cool. Thank you.
okay, so we've got Ezreal first pick versus Lilia for CG
I
Blood
do
Moon.
like that. I think Ezreal's a safe choice when it comes to any 80 carry. He's very, very, very strong right now. Ezreal is also in those top 580 carries that are very good, along with the Kaisa. The Caitlyn Ben I like a lot. I think Caitlyn just her burst damage is very, very prominent. But we do see the Jhin here. I like the Jhin into Ezreal. Jhin has the range to not get poked out by Ezreal with all of his Qs. Jhin can play safe just as well as Ezreal can, even though he doesn't have that blink.
Oh,
But
but that's interesting to pick the Vi into the gen with the
I
Lilia
love
showing
that.
as
That's a
well.
really, really
Mhm.
great pick. And Divine gets their pick of the litter when it comes to jungle. I mean, with Lilia being picked first, like first picking a jungle, very, very, or I mean, just picking jungle first before the enemy team does. I mean, you're open to that. But Vi, very good against a very immobile AD carry Jhin. I like that pick a lot.
Right, but
We'll
I'm
have to see
curious at
here.
Blood Moon what they want to pick for like a bit more carry damage because you don't usually use Jhin as all of your damage unless of course he's snowballing. So I'm curious
Yeah,
if they
but you
can
have
like.
Lilia. So I mean,
Hmm.
like
Yeah, but
Lilia could be very, very good.
I'm curious if that carry that they pick will be a little bit less vulnerable to the Vi because
Oh,
she's really good into immobile carries, right? But if your
mhm.
carry is like an Ari or something, it's a little bit harder. Or a
Oh yeah,
Camille would be exciting,
yeah.
especially whenever Ornn's already showing.
Oh yeah, we could definitely see. I love the Camille and the Ornn, very, very good. And the thing is, both of those champions can be played sport, so they are
Mm-hmm.
actually both
True.
flexes as well. So wherever Ornn goes, Camille will probably follow. The way ban here really blindable mid. So I like the ban here, and he scales really well. I like that a lot. Here, Divine Temple, they're probably. I mean, yeah, Tristana getting banned still. I think people just like to play the champ. Can still be very good at mid, I think, just because it's the first day of the patch. Like, we're still gonna ban it. What
Yeah, I don't
the?
want to mess with the patch notes yet, Try to feel each other out first, then maybe let them have some time with the new
Yeah,
champions to
one
adjust the
hundred percent,
champions.
100%. I honestly don't think that either one of them is gonna ban a sport, and I'm probably correct because they don't. They're both trying to call each other's bluff right now. When it comes to supports, and they're trying to make them show. So they're just banning basically everything else.
Yeah,
Basically, the only thing you can confirm is mid, and we're
yeah,
seeing that with the next four being fans being mid laners.
but surely
But
Blood Moon picks their support or top lane here, right? Or do you think that they
yeah,
pick their mid blind?
I mean, I think I honestly, you keep you either. I think both are good options, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of blindable mid laners though. So personally, I probably would pick mid here if their
To
mid
control
laner
mage like
has.
Gari.
Yeah, Ari would be good. I think anything that keeps Vi Orn off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tom Kench and the double flex. That
Mm-hmm.
also works. That was one of the two options.
It's also
Yeah, they
nice.
banned Victor. The Victor ban didn't go
It's
through, I guess.
Oh yeah,
But
okay. So it shows nothing, but that's a Victor ban. It looks kind of interesting because Tom Kench is nice into the Vi to be able to save someone, but I'm curious like what their team fights look like because I don't know,
I
it's
mean,
kind of a mess
they
almost, but
have really great pick potential.
hmm
I mean, Camille dive, Tom Kench dive, right? What I would like to see here is possibly a Poppy. If they could, Nautilus works too. I just was really thinking about the Poppy being able to negate Tom Kench and Camille's engage. Poppy's banned. I am just not very on the ball today, guys. But Poppy would have been very good here. Nautilus works. Just adding to this, the three ultimates from Vi, Ornn, and Nautilus all being able to just go in and point and click somebody basically
yeah. I
are
mean, if
unstoppable.
there's one thing I could say about this draft, it's Divine Temple's comp is a lot easier to execute with the 4-shot. Well, that changed a little
And
bit, but still, the first
then you
four
got
are
Azir,
so
very
simple.
blindable, very, very blindable mid laner coming out from
Hmm.
Divine Temple. I mean, the shuffle is going to be
Hmm.
very easy to land with
I
Ornn
would,
Ultimate, Nautilus Ultimate, and Vi. You just ult them, and then Azir goes, and then you're in tower. So very, very good. But I mean, what to see here? What the mid Wookiee monster is going to pick for his like counter? I mean, into Azir. Azir has a long range. He picks a scaling matchup.
hmm.
Like it. I think he's gonna be
Okay.
punished early, but like what you get to 35 minutes, I would very much rather be Blood Moon, to be honest with you, but you're
Yeah,
going
but
to
the
need
other thing
penetration.
is, like, yes, the team fights probably favor you, but I just like from a mental standpoint, having to play this comp into their comp sounds so annoying.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
I
both
guess it's
comps are
maybe because I'm
very
not a
annoying.
Camille. Hmm. Maybe I'm just because
Um,
I'm not a Camille player and stuff, but like trying to figure out how to get through the or Nautilus Azir into figuring
yeah.
out onto an Ezreal. Like,
Mhm.
I think that they definitely didn't lose draft or anything. Just if I wanted to like from a comfort level, I definitely choose Divine Temple's side.
I
Now,
think Divine Temple's good. It's just like it's about timing, right? Like if Divine
hmm
Temple basically wants to win early, they should win
yeah,
early. I mean, with Vi Ultimate, I would be as Vi I want to make sure Asol doesn't get stacks. And that's what Azir's trying to do. He's like, Asol's going to throw down his E. Azir is poking him with a stick. And he's like, nope, you cannot. Because like once you get to 35 minutes, Asol's going to be really, really strong. And Camille and Tom Kench engage is unbearable. All Lilia has to do is throw one bowling ball. And you're 5 minutes left into Asol ultimate, into Camille and Tom Kench knockup. And then the game's over. So before 35 minutes, Divine Temple. After that, I am 100% on Blood Moon's team, and I would hope for the best. So we'll have to see what kind of moves Divine Temple is looking for when it comes to early game invades and objective control. I think that's the name of the game.
I also think that it's very obvious that both junglers want to be around the top side, mid side, right? Like,
yes.
I don't think either jungler is going to be pretending to really put priority on the bot side except for Dragon. So, because what are you going to gank, the Ezreal or the Tom Kench Jhin? Like,
yeah. I mean, definitely two really hard gankable lanes in bot lane. I do think, though, it's like, if I'm Vi, I don't really want to touch top lane.
True. Yeah.
So I want to be in mid lane and I want to be in bot.
Yeah.
You leave, like, I love Ornn. Great top laner. I love him on my team. I pick him for my top laner all the time. But as I tell my team, throw top on an island, say good luck, and he will tank this Camille, and he'll just try to negate some of that damage, right? Maybe Ornn does a lot of damage as a tank. He'll be fine. Vi is like, I don't want Asol to do anything, and I don't want Jhin to do anything. And that's what I think Half is going to be trying to look for, trying to help Corn on the cob, try to help Sarcasm a little bit. Because they're a little easier to gank. They're hard to gank, but they're easier than Camille.
I am really interested in how this mid lane goes, because Azir does have to play on that edge where you bully the Asol, you don't let him scale, you don't run into a Tom Kench or Lilia either, though.
Yeah, I think Azir will be fine as long as he controls his clones, or not his clones, but his soldiers, and being able to get back and kite backwards. But Asol early is very strong if he starts Q first, but usually I see Asol start E first, because I also start E first. Because you want those stacks, right? But Q first is very, very strong. But Asol did just get a little bit of a nerf to his Q, so we'll have to see how that goes, because his tap Q that was a little broken.
Oh, it's so much fun though.
Nerfed.
Yeah,
it is, but it's also broken because the guy, if he is strong early and he is strong late, we have a problem. There's not a lot of champions like that, and Asol is probably one of 3 really strong champions at the late game that infinitely, or 4 champs, including Sam. But in the mid lane with the Asol and Veigar already, he doesn't get to be stronger.
Make sure to put in your predictions. We are going to go to a quick break and get back into game, and I'm excited to see the Asol versus your matchup especially.
And welcome back, guys. We're going into game 1 here. We are on the Rift, and we have a little bit of a 5-point, but it looks like red side is going to be invading through top, trying to see if maybe they can get a pick here. But it
On the
looks
Orin,
like
I
we're
don't
not
think
seeing
so.
anything. But they might, maybe blow a flash or so. But Camille is going in, getting the auto.
Oh,
And
they got
Ginny
bone
starts
bleeding.
W, so they might do a little bit of poke damage, but nothing crazy. Orange is going to tank it, walk away. He's just a simple train conductor. But we get a little bit of poke damage. Camille, it looks like she's going to be going for a level 1. Oh, but game lag. I see. Really good Ryan
We get to
client.
talk about level 1 for a little bit, I guess.
I mean, level 1's fine. I mean,
I was interested in the tier start for Ezreal. Feels like with the Nautilus, you really want to be aggressive, but the tier lets you get some poke out as well, so it's not the
Yeah,
worst. And now you know you're into
definitely
Jin
is.
W.
I mean, Jin W first isn't ideal. Definitely not the
Mhm.
worst though, with the Tom Kench Q being really, really good. With poke, it's got a understandably long range for a tank engaged champion. I mean, about a little shorter than a Nautilus Q, but does a little bit of a damage. The Ezreal's tier is pretty good just because he builds Miramana and being able to I feel like it's always very helpful when you are playing one of those champs that has tier. To maybe go early or first back, just so as soon as you buy that item, it's instantly upgraded,
Yeah,
and
for
then you
sure.
just hit a huge power spike.
But all in all, I mean, Vision's traded evenly, and they just kind of trade a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I feel like Blood Moon is a little disappointed with how that level 1 went.
Oh,
All in all.
definite, 100%. I mean, you always want to be able to get a kill off the invade, and unfortunately they didn't get it, but they're like, hey, look, we did some damage to Ornn. Ornn didn't touch us, and we got Vision of blue buff. Because I don't know if they pinged it on their blue buff, so I don't even know if they know that this lily is on Vision.
Mhm.
But I like what Camille's doing. Already proxying Ornn off this wave. He's like, hey, you want to step up? You are gonna lose minions. I get to do this because I'm stronger level 1 than you. Ha ha.
Well, it's
So very,
interesting
very
that Jin and Kench get the push though, despite starting W's fight being against Nautilus. It looks like because Sarcasm had the leash, they get a nice little push lead, and Nautilus kind of has to
level
respect it a
2
little
here.
bit.
100%. It got force shot here. Hit a Q. Hit the W. Gets the
Wait.
knock-up. Really great level 2, but he has gone too far. He's under tower. He takes 2 tower shots and Ezreal Q. He's 1 HP. Can they get him? Barriers both coming out from both AD carries. Jin doesn't even get the finish from his Q. They are both 1 HP. He goes for the flash W. Does not land, but Tom Kench Q comes in. Nautilus hook, and Jin gets the first blood. Holy
And
bot
heal off
exchange.
Yeah, and the
is
heal for Tom
very,
Kench, I think it was a Triumph. I'm not entirely
Yeah.
sure, or maybe Grasp or something.
Maybe
Just
Grasp,
barely lets him
but-
live.
But all of those, we have no bot lane sums coming out from red side. And on the blue side, we only have Nautilus Flash left. And I'm pretty sure he's going Hex Flash. So he's probably got another Flash ready to go. I'm surprised he didn't use it and just Flash auto that Tom Kench when he was 1 HP. I mean, but very well done. I mean, by the Jin Tom Kench realizing they had level 2, but I mean, they almost got him. They almost had him under tower. Just very, very close from both sides.
And I wonder if that is a product of the invade almost in a way. Actually, there might be a gank here.
You do see the Vi coming here on Camille, but Ornn is very low. Vi going in, charging in, just beating down on this Camille. Can she get away? When has her E back up is the question. But she chooses to go back in, right into the Ornn, see if she can get a trade kill. Does not happen. Goes over to the Vi for the kill. We do see Aesol getting the shove in mid, being able to roam up a little bit here, but ultimately just crashing this wave so that Camille doesn't get upset when she comes back to lane. This wave will bounce. Camille will have a chance to farm. Love that by the red side. But now we're even on kills. Maybe they can see if they can get a little bit more to spy, pushing off Grub. See, he doesn't land from the Lilia, but she does secure the Gromp. Hopefully. Oh, she just doesn't even want the Gromp. She wants the little Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pressure mid from the freeze from Azir too, so Aesol has to leave. So I respect Lilia leaving too.
Yeah, but he just wants the little crab. He wants a little bit of vision, help the Camille out so that this time Vi can't easily come through and just coming for a free gank. We do see Jin and Tom Kench with the push again here. looks like, because now it's going to get his vision. But I'm really just wondering how much damage is Cobb gonna point out on this ASO, but it doesn't look like a lot. Camille going back in, seeing some more tank trading going on in the top lane. What is new? We're not shocked, but you know, we'll see. Eventually, we might see another 2v2 up there, so we're hoping for it.
Yeah, top lane is a lot more bloody than I remember it last time, especially with an Ornn there. There's
Yeah.
a lot of interesting fights, interesting wave position, and the fact that Vi also started bot side to path up towards there. I'm wondering if that was because of the invade she felt uncomfortable starting blue. And because of that, the leash bot lane also leading to Ezreal being late, but now they're looking to turn it back.
No, definitely. Vi going in on this Tomcatch. Tomcatch gets blown up by this Vi Ezreal Nautilus combo here, and Jit just left to auto the minions. I mean, that's what Vi does early. Vi wants to keep playing these tempo plays, not let Lilia catch up. Lilia can farm probably a little bit better than her, just with her wave clear and having a bunch of AoE damage. But Vi just wants to gank. She wants to make sure everybody's not having fun with her CC. Once she hits 6, she's going in regardless.
Yeah, and the pick is definitely paying off for sure. It's already impacted top. It's already impacted bot, despite the slight fumble in the beginning for bot lane. And it's not that far behind the Lilia. Yes, you can see the camps. There's a little difference there in the CS, but I don't think Vi minds.
No, Vi definitely doesn't mind it. I would rather take 2 kills than 14 CS. I'm be real, even as a laner. But what it will come down to is what objective they're trying to go for. And right now, they're both positioned on that top side of the map near the Grubs area. I mean, Lilia does Grubs pretty fast, but Vi is the stronger jungler right now. But only on a longsword Ruby Crystal Boots versus Faded Ashes. Ornn flashing, trying to save his life from the Camille ultimate that is being held by
might
Jace.
not matter? Oh.
Yeah. Oh, Aso getting poked out by this Azir. So now Divine does have Prio. I mean, they might be able to
it's a little mixed actually. Azir could come, but Camille can come.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Blood Moon's probably the strongest right now, but Aesol is just completely out of the fight. Ornn still has ultimate where he can be effective. But he's one auto away and not close, but Tomcatch going in, seeing with Ezreal already using his blank. Can he get him? No Q was landed by Tomcatch. That W does not root. Some trading going down, a bunch of damage coming out of Jhin, but just barely Ezreal gets to squeak out. Tomcatch hitting the Q here, trying to see if they can chunk down this Nautilus tank, but he just walks away. It takes half HP. Does get rooted by the Jhin, but Jin's not level 6 yet, so he doesn't have the ultimate out. Trying to see if they can get a whole plate here, possibly being able to take this 4th plate for free. And they really can't do. Divine can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it feels like they really have let this Jhin just have the full run of this lane. Yes, there was a kill on the support, but Jhin didn't mind at all. He's just been here, getting XP, getting plates now, got a kill. I mean, he's probably setting up to have a really nice mid game.
They are terrorizing. They are down a little bit of CS. I mean, which is reasonable with the Ezreal Nautilus. I mean, even when they got the push, we are seeing some scrapping coming down the bot lane. Flash coming out of the Nautilus, rooting this Tomcatch for being out of position, and Vi is here to clean up, but it gives the kill to the Ezreal. Now this bot lead is massive, with now even on kills, but down 20 CS. The shuffle coming out from the Azir, moving that guy. Now with Aesol with no dash, will he be punished here? Lilia is here to protect, but we do see the 2v2 scrap continue to happen with Aesol being really weak. The ultimate not happening, not hitting. Lilia ulting the Azir to keep him under a tower, but can't reach him. Vi is continuing to chase down this deer. Will he be able to kill? Aesol was weak. Lilia's weak, but that damage on Aesol is huge. He's queuing, and it goes to the Aesol at the end of the day. Blood Moon is just cleaning up. They're getting very, very lucky, but they're playing their fights slow. Once Vi doesn't blow up anybody, she becomes very, very weak until she hits that level 6 where she can just all in and get 2 knockups. But right now, Aesol is very, very strong. And if that dragon gets ahead, it's going to be very, very hard to catch back up.
Yeah, it feels like the only way that Divine Temple has to play through right now is the Vi and the Ezreal. I mean, Azir isn't like terribly behind or anything, but he is down a kill. And Ornn, just look here.
And Camille ultimate coming out onto this Ornn, and Ornn is coming back in with his little train, and he hits the Camille and trades that damage back. I mean, it's like the ults never even happened. To be honest, both players are both at a quarter HP. Camille maybe having a little bit more prio, But honestly, I'm feeling safe as Ornn. I mean, she used her ultimate to try to go in and literally did nothing with it. So good job on the Ornn there, trying to negate this pressure that Camille is constantly pressing on his tower up that 25 CS. But he's doing really good as a little tanky boy that doesn't have the items yet. So
Yeah.
still playing
Although
safe.
on the opposite side of the Ornn is this dragon that just has been up for the last 10 minutes. It looks like Blood Moon, or Divine Temple is finally looking at it. Although maybe they want to trap into Aesol first. Not actually sure
I mean,
what they're grouping for yet.
Tom Kench going in on this Ezreal, seeing if he can hit a tongue onto this Ezreal. He does hit the tongue, but the root does not land from Jhin. Does not
Yeah, but now
land,
they
so
got to get
just
out.
scot-free. They have to get out. Vi and Nautilus are on the way. Can they execute on this dive here? Nautilus, the Vi going in, but Tom Kench saves Jhin from the Vi ultimate. And that resets the whole cooldown. It's not like a Caitlyn ultimate. It doesn't reset. Vi has no ultimate for the next little while. She can't unstoppable anything, and that's part of Vi's kit. It's part of Vi's important kit that she likes to go in. That's why they picked her.
Yeah, it's definitely showing that Blood Moon was right with their counterpicks, although this one is getting a little awkward. But putting the Camille against the Ornn and putting the Tomkins whenever they saw the Vi, and it's just stifles so much of Divine Temple's tempo that they had from the beginning of the game.
But now you see, even when we were talking about Vi being all down CS, because we have those 2 kills, look at the difference now. We're seeing almost a 40 CS gap between the Lilia and this Vi. Vi not having ultimate, can't unstoppable to sleep. We do see the Lilia going forward with the Camille. Camille not having ultimate just yet. Oh, she does now. Can they kill this Vi under a tower? And they give it to the Lilia. Squid's getting the kill onto this Vi. Aesol says, I want more. Can Azir get out just in time? Dodges out of the ultimate, uses the shuffle. He's trying to get away. Real ultimate coming out onto the Azir saying he will not leave. Ultimate coming out, but Nautilus is here to save him with the hook. And Azir survives for now. But it looks like Blood Moon is going to be able to get these grubs and start off strong. Continue to push
And
and
also
get the tower on the
tower.
side.
Yeah.
They are very much ahead. 3,500 gold. Amazing.
Yeah, and Blood Moon is able to get plays to get kills, and it looks like Divine Temples, whenever they make their good plays, it's just barely to survive the aggression of Blood Moon. And remember, Blood Moon's the one with the Aesol on their team, and they now have 6 scrubs, so it's definitely very difficult for them.
Definitely, and no dragon is being taken yet, even when these 6 scrubs are happening. So it's like, usually in these games, if they're taking top side, you want the bot side of the map. If you're not taking grubs, you're taking dragon. But they just haven't been able to get there because of the constant pressure that Blood Moon is putting on there. They're executing their draft to perfection at the moment. But next, obviously that dragon is up. Lilia is clearing from top to the bot side. She does. I gotta see how much gold she has. But she's probably got a little bit of gold, but she does have the Blackfire. She didn't really need to back. She has the mana. She has the double buffs. But they're definitely going to be looking at this dragon. But we're seeing Divine Temple trying to get set up with some vision, kill that scuttle before Bloodmoon can't get there. Engaging on the Jhin. Jhin has to flash with the exhaust being on him. Azir tries to get a little bit of poke damage. Really doesn't do anything. But he's going to try to shove this wave so Vi and Nautilus can start this dragon. Problem is...
Yeah, but they're so nervous about it. Yeah,
they have to be. Aesol is bot. He is farming. He is a dragon. He is collecting his stars. He's up 7. Why Aesol being there by himself is so perfect because they have to answer at some point, which Azir is now. But
yeah, and I don't know how Divine Temple can actually start this dragon. Meanwhile, Chase is also putting pressure top lane. They're gonna start fighting though.
We do see the fight coming down. Jhin, curtain call coming out from the Jhin. Sleep coming out from the Lily. Can they execute? Tom Kenshin with a knock up onto the Vi, and the Aesol killing the Nautilus right off that damage from the Jin's 4th shot. Tom Kench as well getting the Vi, finishing off 2 for 0 for the side of Cloud Gaming. Oh, yeah, and this is another drag. They are just controlling the map right now.
This is my prediction.
Even when they're not there first.
Yeah, prediction. Objective bounties are going to be available soon. And whenever you see that, whenever your Aesol and your opposing team have them, you just feel really good. I might be off by a little bit of gold, but they're certainly ahead regardless of what the bounties say.
Rift is up. And I would expect even after that dragon that they are eyeing every single objective. If I am Blood Moon, I'm looking to fight at all costs. It doesn't matter who's there. If you have an Aesol, if you have a Jhin, if you have your Lilia there, you want to fight. You want to fight. See how much damage Camille's going to do this one auto on this turret. Chooses to use the ultimate onto the Ornn. Get the trade. Ornn getting the trade onto Camille. Honestly, so worth for the Ornn. He saves the tower. Camille greeted a little bit. Nautilus just going into the Jhin, but nobody is there to follow up. Ezreal is coming, but is he going to do enough damage with that Triforce? They are just tracking down this Nautilus. Nautilus having to use his ultimate just to get away, but Aesol is keeping him there with his E. He barely gets away with the hook on the tower. But he just
And I
does
get it,
so much.
You're against the Aesol and you've got no objectives. You want to look for something. You finally
Nautilus
see
is
they're not
going-
entirely grouped. Camille's dead. Let's try something, and it just doesn't quite work out for them,
Well,
unfortunately.
the reason why it's not working out is because he has nobody with him. Tahm Kench going in, using the dive, trying to see if he can get this Ezreal, but at least he blows Ezreal's blink out, so they are able to pressure this tower by themselves with that 6 grubs, with the Jhin, with the Tahm Kench, giving Lilia time to just do this Rift Herald for free. Vi has to just farm to see if she can catch him up.
Yeah, and I hope that, or I guess Azir's hope is that they can dive the bot lane, maybe get that bounty, but no one's moving for it. They just want to farm, which is respectable too. I don't know. It just feels so hard for Divine Temple to look for a way back into this game.
Looks like they're going to be using this Rift Herald top, most likely with this top shove. Because this tower is so low, they're able to take this one and possibly push for another tier 2 tower. Just to get so much pressure and take some pressure off the bot side of the map when the dragon comes up.
Yeah, I
Just
think
waiting for
Azir,
this next.
I think Azir might get an objective bounty, which is their only saving grace. It looks like the top play is dissipating, so they're, at least for the last 30 seconds, making the moves to possibly get a foothold back into this game. But it's going to get so much harder whenever that dragon spawns in 3 minutes. And I
Yes.
just don't... I guess item spikes are coming out. You've got the Nashor's Tooth for Azir, which is really good. Vi doesn't really matter that she's down levels, maybe you could say. And top lane, it's pretty stable, right?
Yes,
like,
I mean,
yes, Jason's
Ornn
bullying,
is
but still.
upset. Ornn is upset. I mean, Camille just gets to stand there and he's just like, okay, you get to do exactly what you want. And Camille is completely okay with that. I mean, he's ego checking him right now. I mean, they're just doing their little combos. She's diving right on top of the Ornn. He just unstoppables it and autos, but this wave is still pushing. This tower is
Gamal's
going
just gonna
to
take the
fall.
tower.
We're seeing a little bit of scrap,
Oh.
a shuffle coming out, and the Vi ultimate, but the Aesol ulti does come through. Lilia's ult is coming down next. Can Aesol get the trade kill? Azir Lilia falling to the Azir. They're just going to track down this dragon. He has no more movement left. He is not leaving. By getting the shutdown on this 2-0 Aesol, the ult coming out from Camille to finish off this Ornn and continue this top push is insane. He
But that bot
trades
play is
everywhere.
absolutely key. That bot play is absolutely key. Getting those shutdowns is really nice. Yes, it went onto the Vi, which is maybe not ideal, but Vi is the one that's going to try to kill the dragon in the future. So I don't hate
Yes.
it. And
Don't hate it. But very, very
they can
good
maybe
for the side
stabilize.
of Divine Temple. Very, very good for the side of Divine Temple. They're down 4,000. They need all the gold they can get. But eventually they're going to have to answer this top side. And it doesn't look like Camille's dying anytime soon, or at least not yet. But this dragon is up in a minute 13, so we got to see. Eventually, we're going to see a little bit of a scrap for some vision here. I mean, we're already seeing the resets happen. Jin's not going to let Ezreal go just yet. I'm assuming that Lily is probably going to throw this Rift Herald mid just to break open this and create a little more space for the side of Blood Moon. But they might be able to take the tower first.
yeah, but Divine
looks like
Temple
they're-
are fighting back. I mean, yes, we've mentioned the Aesol a few times, but there are ornaments coming. Ornn is not doing entirely embarrassing against Camille. This is kind of his job. Sometimes, yes, you die, but he will get the XP. It really, I mean, I think they could almost give up this dragon. It'd feel really bad, though, so I respect them staying. The recall from Vi at 30 seconds, though, I could see them just farming it out top and expecting Blood Moon to get the dragon, be okay with that.
Yeah, definitely agree. I mean, with the Rift Herald coming out mid, taking down this, they just decided to use it on tier 1, break it open a little bit. Now they're able to just do the dragon. And it looks like Vi is probably going to see if they can steal, because the dragon's not entirely up yet for the next 10 seconds here. But what Divine Temple has to push out this wave. They need bot prio and they need mid prio, and right now they have neither of them. So we need to see how quickly they can do that, or are they just going to try to go for an old-fashioned smite steal? But it looks like...
Yeah, I'm kind of
Vi's just-
curious how much they want to fight this, especially with both top laners having teleport but aren't being chunked.
Yeah, I mean, on the side of like Blood Moon, they have a lot of poke with Jhin and with Lilia, but Tahm Kench is going in. Aesol ultimate coming down. It is empowered. Styles are falling. The Vi ultimate going down onto Camille. Camille is boxing this Vi, but it's not going well for her. Ornn ultimate coming out. Lilia ultimate also popping. Nautilus is sleepy. Ornn ultimate hits. the backside, and the poke from Azir is immense. Lilia takes down the Nautilus, but Azir trades with the Jhin kill as well. And what will happen next? Camille has to back. Can they get more? Ace Q is raining down on the Azir, and the Tahm Kench damage is a lot. The Ignite kills the Azir from the Tahm Kench, and we are seeing a bloodbath here by Ornn and Ezreal are trying to follow this Tahm Kench. He's trying to stall for this Aesol. Aesol does get the kill onto Ezreal. Can Tahm Kench survive with the shield? Aesol is just continuing to rain down on this Vi, but Vi kills him just in time. Tahm Kench is trying to get more. Lilia finally comes back to this fight. It's Lilia and it's Ornn. What will happen next? Camille is back and Lilia gets the double kill onto Ornn. All that and Blood Moon take the dragon and they win the fight.
Yeah, but that was a huge gold exchange in both ways. Yes, obviously, I think that Blood Moon would have been. I think that Divine Temple should have been happy to, or not happy, but okay giving up that dragon rather than going for that fight. But they did get a lot of gold and experience for the higher levels, some shutdowns. I mean, you could argue that the more ahead that Vi gets, the more of a chance that she has to shut down the Azir or Aesol no matter how far ahead.
We do see Camille has overextended a little bit trying to get this tower and mess around with this Azir. They are trying to chase her down. She has used E, but it is already back up. Ezreal ultimate.
And they're gonna use it for Baron.
And they're already on the Baron, but the Ezreal ult hitting them, chunking them a little bit, makes it a little unsustainable. They're just gonna take the scuttle, take the vision, and they're gonna back and reset.
Oh, but they're gonna try to use this as a tempo trap. This actually has a huge chance of working, maybe? Or maybe they're trying to make them face check it, but they don't see that the vision is there. There's too many Blood Moon wards on the Baron, so they know that this is a trap. And I think it's just going to be a wasted TP unless they get some kind of desperation play. Well, they'll get a red buff for it, I suppose.
They're taking the red. They're trying to just take space right now. But Tahm Kench is going in with his Heartsteel. He said, that is my red buff. The W does land on the Vi, and she is very, very low. The ultimate does come out, but it is way too late. Jhin getting the kill onto the Vi. We do see the curtain call being deployed, and everybody's just partying in the Aesol E. Aesol taking down another one, and Squigs getting the trade onto Ornn. Aesol getting Lilia cleaning up, getting Ornn and Ezreal and Jhin killing the Azir with the ace on the side of Blood Moon, and they just say, hey, we weren't leaving. We were just waiting for you to pull up. And it is their Baron.
And if the dragon fight had a silver lining, this one absolutely doesn't. There's no kills. They get the Baron. I mean, it's just a complete disaster for Divine Temple, but one you could kind of see coming all the way from level 5 or so. You know, just the ultimate collapse of all of the advantages that Blood Moon has been building for the entirety of the game. And here we are, you know, a Baron and an Aesol with how many stacks? Stack check? 224.
Yeah, he does a little bit of damage, guys. He does a little bit of damage. I mean, we can just sit in the Aesol if they want, but it's not going to be good for the side of Divine Temple if they do. But Lilia being on 2 items and the Zanya's component where she'll be able to go in stasis for a couple seconds, very, very, very strong Lilia at this point. No, I mean, having double burn definitely doesn't hurt. But I really like how Tahm Kench has this Heartsteel. He's building like a top laner, but he's playing this support role. That man is tanky. And Tahm Kench, like Ornn, is one of those things that just does so much damage. So he's just being able to go in, take half your HP, and then the rest of the team comes in.
Yeah, and I think that for Divine Temple, if they're going to look back at this game, it's going to be at that Baron play because that was their best chance to win it after the downhill trend. I mean, just like that tempo trap was so close to maybe being something. Maybe if they had a little bit more gold or a little bit more, you know, gumption, less hesitation. But now
coming out on this Ornn, I mean, Tahm Kench is here. It looks like the Ornn is going to fall. No more train conductoring for this wave. He's going to be talking to the ghost train in the base. Unfortunately, Aesol is just getting so strong. He has the tier for the Archangels continuing.
They're just like teleporting in.
Blood Moon is just saying, hey, we're going to fight. Curtain call coming out, landing onto this Azir. Azir is gone. Aesol being used, not hitting, but it doesn't matter because he has the E, and he's just queuing down this Nautilus, getting a free kill. The Tahm Kench Q, enabling that lethality to come out from the Aesol pool. They're just continuing to push down mid. They're saying, hey, if you guys want to fight, we'll do it. We're stronger than you at this point. You don't have everybody down there just chasing these guys down to base.
Yeah, we don't need the inhib yet.
By ultimate coming out onto the Camille, but Tahm Kench stays with the Swallow, and Ornn is just trapped. This guy is not going anywhere. He's rooted. Camille just goes in, gets his passive shield. She does fall to the Ezreal, Vi is back up. So is this Ezreal, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Just poking Lilia. Lilia is just keeping them entertained. Going to stasis. Dragon comes in, gets the trade on, gets the tower. Vi falls. Aso falls to the Azir, getting that trade back. Dragon stepped a little bit too far, but Tom Kench and Nautilus are just hitting each other. And while that happens, the Nexus has exploded, and game one goes to Cloud Gaming Blood Moon.
Wow, what a game!
Amazing
Because
game. What a game.
it's kind of interesting to look back at that and be like, what exactly was the turning point? Where exactly did everything just go so wrong for Divine Temple? I mean, honestly, the one thing that I was looking at was that leash start for Ezreal, because it just spelled doom for that entire lane. I mean, Vi tried to salvage it later, but it was just too late whenever Jin was able to get the level 2 and get the first blood.
I mean, leashing in general just seems like it doesn't help bot lane too much. It usually hinders them and gives it up that level 2, especially if the other team doesn't do it. I mean, most junglers now can probably do the clear by themselves and just either that or start chickens and then go to red buff, which might deter their clear a little bit. But on terms of like the turning point, I feel like it was just like when Vi was after Vi was 2-0 and we were talking about how strong she was at this moment. She wants to fight. There's a reason she wants to fight now and not later. It's the fact
Mm-hmm.
that Lilia is continuing to farm and not really ganking as much because she just wants to power farm, get her items, and then she's just really strong. Vi kept ganking after that 2-0 start and wasn't getting anything. And when you're a jungler that wants to gank and wants to create havoc around the map like she was doing, if you're not consistently doing that and you're giving up farm for it, you're going to fall behind. And in the objective fights, Lilia started getting kills, and then that lead became astronomically large. But Aesol getting the early kills, very, very big. I mean, if Aesol's not getting those kills, he's probably still behind his ear, and he's still getting poked out. And that and his like ascension to what Aesol is at 30 minutes or whatever time this game ended, like it would have been a little bit longer. But since Aesol getting stronger, this Tom Kench being a Chad, just diving in whenever he wanted. Um, Flowers to the Tom Kench. He's my MVP this match, despite KDA, whatever it was. He was fearless.
Yeah, and
Fearless
he
on the
also had
side
like
of
this
Blood Moon.
protection shield for Jhin, right? Every gank that went bot lane that tried to shut down the Jhin, which is where you wanted the Vi to be in the first place, you mentioned in pre-game. Suddenly, the only kills that went down was Tom Kench would die and Jhin would just be like, "Well, I'm still getting XP. I don't really care. You can have
Yeah,
300
no,
gold, Vi."
really, really good ults out of the Tom Kench that we were saying. Saving from the Vi ultimates. I mean, I think it just Divine Temple just seems so passive, and Blood Moon just kind of was like, "Hey, we want to fight. We want to fight. Yes, 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 yes. We want to fight now." And they got to. And then it showed. It showed in the way that each team was just trying to like their play styles showed. And it's like when we were talking in pregame, we're like, okay, Blood Moon, they scale, right? They'll win if they after 35 minutes, they win. The other team, they win early, but it felt like they were playing each other's like comps in terms of mentality. Like Divine Temple just played too passive for their comp after a certain amount of time, and that spelled doom for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the Aesol getting that lead early, Azir was definitely picked to try to bully him. It just didn't quite work out. Also, I'm wondering if the Vi was planning to go top lane from the beginning of the game because it didn't seem like it did much except get the Vi some gold, you know. The entire time, yes, Camille was 0-1, but it did not look like it from top lane after that first kill that Vi got. So
Definitely didn't. I mean, when you have Ornn, you're kind of expected to kind of let him like sit there, and he did a really, really good job of keep stemming the Camille's like push because Camille does win that matchup, you know what I mean? But like Ornn is Ornn, and he'll scale into a tank regardless. Um, I think they just got outscaled. I mean, Lily is still very strong. She's one of those AP junglers that really didn't get touched in this patch that just went by, and she continues to move. I mean, she got touched a little bit, I'm pretty sure, but nothing um too substantial. But I mean, looking into the next game, I think it's definitely not as lopsided as we thought. These teams are very, very close in skill level, from what I can tell. I mean, they were both making plays. I think you said something along the lines of it's like this team's making plays and they're really great, but they're only to like save themselves. You know what I mean? So they
mhm.
have the opportunity to make plays. We just need to see more on the offensive side rather than I need to just live. You know what I mean? So we'll see if that happens in game two.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if the draft will go a similar direction as well. Especially whenever you've spent two bans towards Blood Moon's bot lane, and the bot lane still did that, you know? It seems
No,
like you're gonna have to commit more than bans. You're gonna have to commit jungle pressure or something, maybe a counter pick, rather than the bans, because Jin did not look deterred by having to be on his third champion, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and also just like the champions being, we gotta just think of the order you're picking your roster in your draft. And it's really draft like sets the tone for how you want to play. So like you were talking about with the bands, maybe you got to put more. Or you just need a really big thing about draft is like it's really hard. I mean, 80 carry is a bad example, but like what these players are probably gonna play. They have like a tendency of what champs they want to play. Try to bait them into it. Try a different draft strategy because like it seemed like Blood Moon knew what they wanted and they played towards it. It's because they seemed very comfortable, even being down a little bit. So I just want to see what Divine Temple changes in their draft when it comes to
Well, one
like,
change that we're definitely going to get is sides because Divine Temple has elected to go on the red side. So we will at least see some kind of shakeup there.
you'll
Curious
see
to
some
see what
counter
they
pick.
think. Yeah, yeah, I think it's obviously for counterpick, right? You're not really worried about it's new patch. No one knows what's OP yet. You're probably on different things. So it's almost certainly for counterpick. I'm curious to see what lane they will save it for. It might be mid lane, although I believe did they let me look at the pick ban again. Yeah, so they got counterpick last time mid lane. Maybe they think that they can do a little bit better having the last chance to pick what happens on going on in the mid lane.
Mhm. I do expect probably a Tom. I think the Tom ban would be very useful on the side of Divine. I mean, look, Brand is very annoying. I mean, Aatrox very very annoying. But I honestly might switch the Kaisa or the Aatrox ban for a Tom Kench. I think Tom Kench is very 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 good. If Divine Temple wants to play that dive style again, they're gonna have to ban the Tom Kench. I think Tom Kench put a wrench in a lot of their plans. I mean, it just you could even ban it instead of Victor, or instead of Trist. So I would expect if there's gonna be one prediction coming from me, it's gonna be Tom Kench is gonna be banned next game unless it's picked in the first three. So we'll have to see. Um,
Yeah, it looks like draft is going to get set up pretty soon. It looks like we're actually going to have a substitution as well. Just going to look at the rosters real quick.
Seeker is coming in.
Um,
We talked about him. We talked about him a little
mhm.
bit. He will be coming in for support for Divine Temple. It looks like. So we will have a new support. So that means draft is going to change a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Um, what to see here? I don't know if they're just taking sarcasm out. Um, they're gonna get a couple more minutes to scout for Seeker. Just kind of trying
No,
to see.
it depends on the team wants it. It looks like they're electing not to go for it.
Yeah.
So we're just going to be able to go into draft hopefully pretty soon. And yeah, again, like I don't expect the bans to change too much for Divine Temple, although maybe they like change up the bot lane script a little bit. But the picks definitely have got a lot to improve on, you know?
Mhm.
You can't let them have all those counter picks and then play into them like you did, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, it could be draft. It could be just comfortability on champs in general. Maybe the guy. I think the Azir looked good into the Assault. I
Mhm.
think it looked good early. I mean, he's supposed to win early, so it's like kind of hard to mess up and to
No, but
make it look terrible. It looked
it
good.
was relevant throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
Despite,
No.
you
One
know,
hundred
Azir
percent.
getting, you know, Asol got some free kills. If I'm mid lane and solo queue and my opposing Asol gets free kills, I'm a little upset.
I'm a little
But
upset
it did
too.
not
No. One
affect
hundred percent.
Kornkov that much. You know, he was still doing his Azir thing. Still got
Oh
that
no. One
2v2
hundred
win in the
percent.
bot lane. So
Yeah, I mean, bot lane, we'll have to see about the trading patterns there. But we do see, I mean, Blood Moon is staying, they're not subbing out. They're running the same five. They are very excited. They're ready to run back game two, see if they can replicate what they did. Um, I'm wondering if they're just gonna pick the same stuff. I think a lot of times when you come through a draft where you just win very strong like they did, like I mean from mid to late, it was their show. It was they did exactly what they wanted to do. A lot of teams like to run it back. They like to run back as much of the draft they could as possible. Maybe some things get banned, then you just swap it out for something very similar. Um, and they see if they can do it again. Because I mean, it's fresh. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
for sure.
surprised if we see an Ezreal, a Jin and a tank again. I think the Jin looked very, very, very good. And the Lilia. I mean, all the champs. Not trying to disregard anybody. The whole team played good. So we'll see. I'm just itching for draft.
Yeah, for sure.
So
It looks like we're gonna get started pretty soon. I know I've said that multiple times, but every
yeah,
indication I'm seeing is that it's gonna start soon. Unless there's
one
any
team says
last
they're
minute
ready.
delays.
We're waiting for one other team. We're ready to go. We'll get into draft. We'll get into game 2, possibly a game 3. We're ready for bangers, is what we're here for.
Yeah.
We're ready for
I'm
bangers.
also curious if Blood Moon will change up their bans. I expect to see the Caitlyn ban still, but maybe
I
they
think
don't
the
feel
Caitlyn
as
ban
bad
could be
about.
useful. I mean, AD carries I think just like the mid bans should only be like I don't think you need to ban any mids. To be honest, I think mid lane right now is very if it's Asol, I would understand Asol ban because he's just Asol. But
Yeah.
I think, just mid is very like farm pushy. You just want to farm and get to items and both teams like there's definitely counters in mid, but it's like not as much as like you see it in bot lane or top. So I would
One
hopefully
thing I
we'll
will
see if
say
yeah.
is that I could see Blood Moon banning Azir, to be honest. Like, that was definitely, I mean, Ornn is like replaceable. You could like say that even though the Ornn did well into Camille, you can counterpick it still, and it wasn't that amazing. But the Azir, if everything else doesn't go as well as spectacularly as it did for Blood Moon, I honestly could see that Azir being a problem, even though they won.
I mean, yeah, Zero definitely I agree. Definitely looked really good. Very blindable mid laner as well. He's just always good. His scaling is great. His range and wave clear is great. His CC is great. He's very good champ. Would not be able to see it. Would not be surprised if I see a ban. I feel like they're just like it will really depend on what the enemy team draft is like wanting to do. When it comes to those fourth and fifth picks, I think they'll keep the same first 3 picks. It end up working for them. So we will see the refreshing. Apparently, some stuff is not working in the right client. What is new?
Well,
No indie
no,
right
it's draft
company.
law. As you guys may have noticed, the client that we were using for draft was not as spectacular as it usually is for production. And unfortunately, we may have to return to that one. Regardless, that's really the cause of the delay. So sorry for that. Just a few technical issues. All the players are ready. So as soon as we find a suitable draft client, figure it out for production, we should be good. But that is currently what we are waiting on.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to blame Riot. It's Riot's fault.
Yeah, it's Riot's fault. They run all
It's
these
always Riot's
third-party
fault.
draft things, and they knew that
Yeah,
by releasing Aurora, it would mess up all of the draft clients. That's really unfortunate.
honestly, they
They
didn't
actually
even
named.
want Aurora to be good. They just wanted to release a champ to release a champ. They
They
just want our
actually
money.
put in the Aurora title. You know how there's a title for all the champions? They actually put in the
Yeah.
title just some script that would break all the draft clients, and that's why we are going back to pro draft. It looks like.
Pro draft.
So we're gonna have a very nice little zoomed in screen for you guys again. I know you guys are excited for that.
It's who isn't.
But at
I
least
mean,
we're getting into draft, pretty soon.
yeah, we just need the speckling
Um,
for us, and we're all good. That
that works
works.
perfectly. So,
Fine then.
again, I think Divine Temple should play around the Azir if they can again. I don't even think they should mind blind picking it again if they have to. Like I said, it kind of sucked that they blind picked it, but maybe you don't want Corn on the Cob the counter pick. Maybe he's just fine playing on Azir,
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I
it
do want
really
them to
depends
put
on what
top
their
lane in a
top lane.
better position to succeed. For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends on what the top laner plays. I think tanks are really good right now. Like we talked about very, very early on with the supports. I think in jungles, like top lane is no different. I mean, there's Mundo, there's Ornn, there's Tom Kench. There's a lot of tanks that are just self-sustainable. They don't need any help. They're gonna get tanky anyway. They're gonna build Heartsteel and they're gonna do damage. It's so I wouldn't be surprised either way, but it really depends on what top lane's pool is and what he's comfortable on in the current patch. Because if he has some duelists in there, and some bruisers, would not be surprised if he gets the counter.
Yeah, I don't think Wushi played it badly. I mean, it's Ornn is pretty easier to play safe. But still, yeah, it's not like he got, top diff there by any means. It was really more about the counter pick. So if Wuxi says, hey, pick me a carry top laner, but pick me it after they pick Jace's top laner, go for it, for
I mean,
sure.
imagine we see T1 Jace play Jace with the buffs.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I would not be surprised. We'll see two range top laners. But we are in the draft. We're going to see if how many of these picks are going to be the same. And you are right. The Caitlyn band coming out first. Very reliable, long range AD carry. No shocks there when it comes to draft and what comes to the current meta right now. Very annoying champ to play against.
Yeah. Now, it is a question if they will keep the Zillion ban because that's most likely targeted at the support, and Seeker has come in to replace the support for Divine Temple. FSG has stepped out, so I'm curious if that was like a scouting thing or they just don't want to play against the same two bans so far. Actually, same three
Brand
bans for
and
both sides,
Poppy.
basically.
Yep, Poppy was banned last time. Banned. Let's see if it's banned again here outside of Blood Moon. Maybe a Vel'Koz because we did see Secret plays a lot of Vel'Koz. Maybe they just hate Zillion, But we are seeing the brand. We are seeing the Aatrox here. No Kaisa ban yet, which is the one thing they did ban with these two champs. Alistar instead of the Zillion. I like that. Alistar is very, very good right now and good with Kaisa that hasn't been banned yet. So I mean, and just good support overall. Also
Yeah, but
good
what do
mid
you
lane if
blind
you
pick
play
here for Blood
maybe.
Moon? Because they didn't
I mean,
really
you
have to
pick it.
blind pick anything at all last time. Like, I guess Lilia?
mean,
Are they just gonna run back to Lilia here?
They could pick the Lilia. I would suspect they'll pick a standard like 80 carry first. So I could see Jin. I could
We'll
see
get confirmation what
Ezreal.
that ban is in a
I
second.
could
It seems to have
see
not gone
any
through.
any like 80 carry that's self-sustaining by himself in the current meta. I think is good. So
It looks like it's
probably.
Karthus banned from Divine Temple, which is kind of out there. Was it?
I mean,
Sorry,
Arthur.
forgetting.
I
Okay,
mean,
yes, it is Karthus banned. Okay,
Arthas. Yeah.
so
Arthas
definitely
very
not
very
something
good
I was
champ
expecting.
just in general. Very annoying,
Hmm.
but it is the Lilia. They do want to prioritize it. They did pick it first pick on the red side with the Jin. Lilia just very, very strong, high mobile, high carry potential champ as well. I mean, Blood Moon, they like the feel. They like the feel of the Lilia.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to ban Karthus there because unless they were expecting a
They're
bot lane,
just
right? They were willing to pick Lilia blind last time. They're probably going to do it again. However,
yeah, no,
Jinx blind is
definitely.
pretty interesting.
The Jinx blind, but I mean, it's Jinx, and if she gets 2 kills, she's really, really strong. I think this should be the Wukong jungle, I'm assuming, just because of the Lilia. I mean, it can be flex top, so we'll have to see as further on in the draft how that goes. Probably 80 carry here. Kog'Maw, probably an enchanter with this
Wow.
Kog'Maw, you would assume.
For sure, for sure.
Um,
Oh, but
but
maybe
also
not,
very
because I
good with
don't
a
think that's a
tank.
blind top.
That is a Tom Kench. They didn't ban it, so they picked it anyway. I should have known. But the Tom Kench, very, very good for the Kog'Maw as well. Just keeping his Kog'Maw alive, making sure he doesn't have to use his passive too early. But I mean, hey, do what you gotta do. I love the catfish. Very, very good pick on the side of blood.
Yes, but it's
Let's see.
interesting because I don't think Nighthawk can play the Tomkins the same way that he did in game one. You don't have a Jin this time, you have a Kog'Maw. And I guess you
And
had a
they
Jin with W
blind the
last time and you made it
Syndra.
work? Ooh, that's
I mean,
interesting.
they blind the Cinder here. I think that pretty much tells them that it's going to be a Wukong jungle. I'm pretty sure. They're trying to call Blood Moon's buff, but I mean, you probably want your top lane to have counter pick. Asol getting banned. I mean, they're going to probably take out more mid laners here. I mean, just so they can like have Syndra be the highest scaling champion in the game.
Other than
Without the
Kog'Maw.
Assault or Kog'Maw, yes, but Syndra permanently gets her stack. She gets the mini Rabadons. She has very good scaling as terms of AP mages go. The Camille band, the Ornn band, the Urgot band, a lot of top lane bands coming out, and Asol. And that honestly, very, very good. I'm surprised they didn't keep the Camille up, but I mean, I guess both people probably play it. Camille's a very strong.
I wonder if they're gonna take the Vel'Koz here that you mentioned earlier. It
Hey,
doesn't seem like it would be amazing with Jinx, but I don't know. Could be a
I
little
don't
spicy
like the
with the team fight
Vel'Koz.
comp.
The Rel looks pretty good. I mean, if Tom
Yeah,
Kench
just
goes
makes more
forward,
sense.
Rel just goes past him and goes on to Kog'Maw. That's the goal. I mean, get Jinx a reset as much as you can. They have a really good Wombo combo with Syndra, Wukong, Rel. We do see the victor that was banned last game on the side of Blood Moon here. They're like, hey, it was banned last time by Divine Temple. Last pick, you chose Camille. So now Victor
Nice to
gets to come
see
out to
traditional
play.
mid laners coming back to
Yes,
leading.
I love it. I love it. Victor's
Oh,
really good in their comp anyway, and Cassante is Cassante. He is very, very good at just being himself. You know, being a tank assassin, bruiser, so like, yeah, I mean, CC champ. He's everything you want in a top laner and then some. Victor, very
yeah,
good in
but
their
where does
comp though. But Wukong
I feel like
Cinderella.
Wuxi has options here, right? So there's so many different ways you can try to counter the Cassante. You can try to outscale him, or you can try to fight him. That's a weird
That looks like a
combination of
fight.
both in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
fight him, but
Garen.
also just like try to split push later.
Yeah, no,
Interesting.
Garen, very, very good. The reason why this Garen is going to pick for people who don't know, Cassante ults, he all outs, and Garen goes bye-bye and clicks R as well, and makes it very
Yeah,
easy for Cassante to die. So early on when Cassante was picked, Garen was like the #1 counter pick because people were like, oh yeah, you're weak and squishy now, haha, R. And, you know, does Garen stuff. So we'll see how good the Garen is. I mean, pro play Garen is definitely different than solo queue Garen. Two different
yes.
things.
Yeah,
So
and I
very
think it's also interesting to see how the Tom Kench does too. I think those are the two lanes I was really interested in. Not to say that like Victor versus Syndra isn't interesting, because I'm sure everyone here loves Victor versus Syndra, is very excited to see that.
I love it.
But you know,
I love
maybe
it.
maybe their eyes will be drawn a little bit more to the Garen, but also the Kog'Maw Kench, which is just such an interesting combination. Like, I feel like you're gonna see a different champion than the Kench that was played by Nighthawk from game one.
Yeah, I mean, Victor and
Almost.
Cinder both do kind of the similar things.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to basically Victor kind of keeps them close. They like with the stun in his on his W, but Cinder likes to push away. And the thing is, like, I mean, on the side of Blood Moon, they do have the Tom Catch the Cassante that do want to go forward, really in the same way. And you can just E them away and then mess up their entire engage, you know. And I like Divine Temple CC. I don't know how Garen fits into it. You know, I mean,
True.
Garen might have to come off a flank and just hit a Q and hope for spin to win Beyblade style. But I think I still like Blood Moon's draft better. I mean, it's front to back. It's pretty standard. You know what you're expecting out of them. But if Divine Temple can make the Garen work and he gets ahead and he's 4-0 and Cassante is having a rough time, you can easily see Divine Temple win this and force this to a game 3.
Yeah, and I will say if the first 5 minutes are similar with one minor change, I feel like Divine Temple has such a higher chance. If you have that top lane gank where you come in and kill Jace, so that way, I mean Jace on Cassante, I know it's a little confusing, sorry. So that way Wuxi has a little bit of a lead. It's not going to go to waste like it was on Camille versus Ornn. And then if you just don't have Sarcasm Leash and you don't let the Resilient get that lead early, but you do get the ganks later where you get the kills on the Tom Kench, maybe not the Kog'Maw, Jinx will snowball that so much harder than Ezreal could into, you know, a fairly even, you know, we both have super powerful guns on Kog'Maw and Jinx, as opposed to where it was that Jhin was just snowballing the entire time. So I think that like they are not that far away from making this game very different just from the draft alone, you know. Maybe they didn't win draft, but they did better in draft than they did game one. And if game two goes similarly as it did to game one, it could turn out drastically different.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm looking at is mid and I'm looking at bot. I mean, probably the same
Mm-hmm.
as you. I mean, just like if you look at it this way, you have two scaling control mage players. I mean, we talked about it. Not very interesting, but you just like, honestly, they scale. They scale really, really well. Both of them do. If either one of them get like 2-3-0 ahead, you're gonna see the difference. I mean, but Kog'Maw and Jinx, they kind of go in separate ways a little bit. They both want items. They both want to just keep going and fighting, right? But Jinx, if she gets one, she might get all 5 really, really quickly with her hyper and her speed up. So you need to watch out for that. Even if she just affects the kills for 2 seconds, she might be a really dangerous champion in the first 6 levels. You know, so we'll have to look.
Yeah,
But come on,
those will all
Tom Kench
be
first round.
Yeah,
Fun.
and those will all be interesting things to look for once we get through our short break, and then we'll come back into game two.
Yes.
Cause I've been getting when I'm so down. Too much until it's numb.
All right, and we're back again. Summoner's Rift, Game 2, Blood Moon, Defiant Temple. You already know this. We're going to have a little bit of a standard 5-point here. Both teams facing off a little bit different in order. Kind of on the side of Defiant Temple having their jungle in the mid lane. Oh, we're seeing Tom Catch already. He's getting some payback, you know what I mean, for the Ornn. You know, he's trying to hit that. I mean, oh, wait, my bad. Color's different. You know, just trying to start it off on the same note. Hitting the Ornn last time, Rel this time. Pretty simple stuff. I don't see any invades coming soon. No vision being exchanged here. I mean, we do have
One thing I like to
trinket,
look at for level 1 is the items and summoners and stuff, and it's across the board exactly the same. The only difference is Ignite is in D for your Nighthawk, which is, of course, correct, and Seeker has it on F. So I think that Nighthawk has gotten a slight advantage there, but the items are exactly the same. Blue Smite even, Doran Shield for top lane. So yeah, I mean,
D-Flash is the way to go. Be real.
Okay,
D-Flash
okay, my bad.
It's close to your abilities.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, I mean,
okay, both bot lanes are here. Both bot lanes are here whenever the minions meet.
No leashing.
They don't slack off to go leashing or anything. So
I mean,
don't expect to see that weird level 2.
Wolves and Willie is starting on blue. We already see some trading coming out of the Syndra and the Victor already. Just use a little bit of spam. I mean, Garen's already ready to go. We see scrapping across the board. Victor winning trades in mid. Garen and Santa doing their thing. I want to watch Jinx's mana count.
Do you think this Wukong is doing some sinning? He started Wolves. He could be doing like the really fast farm, but there's something Wukong's like to do. It's called level 3 gank.
Level 3 gank. Every bot lane's favorite friend. I mean, I like what Red Side is doing with, you know, the push, but if you could see, there's a little blue trinket happening. So if Wukong wants to go in, he will be spotted through a lane gank. So we'll have to see which avenue he pulls up on.
Nah, he's backing off. Come on.
No. I mean,
I guess that was never the plan.
Never the plan. Victor is currently owning this Syndra in terms of trades. I mean, wave. They're up 4 CS and they're getting the poke off. Victor is loving life right now. He seems very comfortable on this champion. But we're seeing our first top lane scrap of the game. The spin to win champion Garen. K'Sante is constantly beating up him with his Q. He does have the Q3 up. Can
Cannon
he
joining
land the
in.
Q3? But
Yeah.
Garen with a really good silence as the Q3 was about to land. So that it just doesn't come out at all. So really good by the Garen realizing when to Q. Good on him. I mean, Kog'Maw raining down already with his armor shred on that Q, being able to just poke out this Rel, making her a little less likely to engage onto him.
Okay, but they're also kind of playing into this Lilia a little bit. It depends on how the wave state exactly goes. Luckily, they're getting it back into their side a little bit nicely.
Yes.
But I'm curious to see if Wukong can actually pick up anything for starting bot side. He skipped the camp to get the crab early.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Lilia's gonna see if she can get the scuttle here. Looks like she should be able to. They did see her on Vision with that yellow trinket. I mean, so bot is gonna be careful, but they at least have the farm, so they don't have to go up too far to go see. Do see the dragon is up in a minute, so they'll probably start preparing for it. Syndra's getting a little bit of a trade out, but Lilia is here. Maybe she hits the bowling ball. She does hit the little E onto the Syndra. Syndra can knock away. It did. Syndra looks like she flashed. Yes, my Riot client decided to cut away at the moment of action. But we see Syndra flashing there, so it's not all lost. Victor still has to trade. And a first blood going down on a bot lane. Why is my direct camera not there? That is my fault.
Who knows?
Sorry. But we do see the Tom Kench getting the first blood onto the Rel. I mean, the armor shred on the Kog'Maw definitely helps. I mean, being able to chunk down these tanks early. Tom Kench is going back in. Starting game 2, how he ended game 1. Continue to poke down the Sheik. She only
this is
needs one
definitely a
more
kill.
auto barrier. Does
barrier!
come through.
Wait, gets the W off with the flash forward!
Oh, and Cog flashes forward and misses. Still has his barrier up. He's going to shove this on the Jinx, make you stay, but she is resetting. Rel is going to have to hold this wave.
That just changed the lane entirely, that flash. I mean, not many players would do that. You definitely wouldn't do that in solo queue. Which is immediately...
and Jinx still has her flash. So Cog flashed for exactly no reason.
No, he flashed. He flashed to stop the Jinx W from killing Tom Kench there, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I see. I didn't see that.
And it's not a play that many players would think of, but it stops to get excited, which would stabilize Jinx, allow her to stay in the lane a little bit longer to get the push out, and it just completely denies her 300 gold as well.
Something to note, Victor is not taken aback yet.
Yes,
but we do see
Syndra
Garen
teleported in and got owned by Lilia a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Victor is now just getting his first reset off with 42 CS. He is going to be very, very well off. We are seeing the Lost Chapter first back. Him opting for that instead of the Faded Ashes, because I'm assuming he's going a burn item called Blackfire Torch. It's very good
awkward time for Wuxi.
Oh, the all out coming in onto K'Sante Unstoppable. He is chasing down Garen. Can Garen get away? It looks like if K'Sante hits Q3, it's over for Garen. Garen, one more, and the Q lands off Jace onto this Garen, getting the solo bolo up in the top lane. We do have more scrapping down in the bot lane. The Q does land. The traps do come
out
on the
Kog'Maw
soon. And TK. Sun going through all the way onto the Kog'Maw. This Kog'Maw is CC. Lilia is here to help. Kog'Maw is going onto this Jinx, gets the Jinx. The Kog'Maw passive is out. They're targeting this Lilia, see if they can get more damage done, but it doesn't look to be happening. Rel is weak. Lilia is chasing, does get the burn down. Squigs does get the kill onto the Rel, and Wukong is left away to dash away before he is the next victim to fall. That fight. Holy. Giving me heart attacks down this bot lane. So many things happening at one time.
And they would have worked so well for Resilient if he had Flash, but unfortunately he used it to save his support. So he did go down for it. Still works.
Still has Flash. So we do see Syndra getting chunked out again. She's doing a really good job of not dying, right? But eventually these backs that she's taking are gonna have to add up. She isn't backing. She's gonna try to farm. She's gonna try to tough it out. She's got
Nighthawk wants to punish her for it immensely, getting the crash in to make sure Victor gets the nice reset, and she has to wave clear into tower with no mana. This does mean Kog'Maw's alone though.
Yes, so maybe we see a dive, probably try to shove this wave and make him punish it, but it doesn't look like. It looks like they're trying to just get this wave and reset. I mean, they want to get this reset for this dragon, make sure they have the prio and the items to fight. But it looks like both junglers are starting grubs. So, like it was last game, we'll have to see who gets the prio for it.
Lilia
He
is
doesn't
6
land,
and
and
Wukong is
Skyrim does
not.
pick him up, but
But
Wukong
Garen's
is
here
going
first.
forward. But Lilia's level 6, so Wukong really can't do much. I mean, he's not 6 yet. Garen can't catch up to Lilia. I mean, but they will take grubs. We're going to see if they can get something for it. They are there. Second, Rel is here. Tom Kench is not. So on the side of Divine Temple, they do have the numbers advantage. Do see here?
Yeah, but I'm not sure that they're
Sante is all
utilizing
in.
it
He
so
does have this level. He
quickly.
shoves them both in. He does have the all out. Garen has spun. He has silence. He is low. 3-man sleep coming through from the Lilia. Huge chase. Garen is down to Jace. Another one. Kog'Maw taking down Wukong. It is 2 for 2. Double kill coming out of Sante. And we see Jinx getting chased down by this Tom Kench. Ignite coming out from Tom Kench. Can they get this Jinx? The Q does land. The Abyssal Dive coming out for Tom Kench, forcing the Jinx to finally use her flash and get away. But 3 kills on this Cassante early, and it was blinded. This man is immensely ahead. Tom Kench isn't going to let
Jinx gets dove here.
Jinx has flash. The barrier comes out. Kog'Maw just lands an ultimate. Jinx is dead. See, you use your flash.
Wow.
And Tom Kench is making another impactful play from this catfish. It's just
because the Divine Temple move Rel first because they want the grubs. They do get one. And then suddenly Resilient comes up and says, you know what? I can move. I don't care. I'm ahead of the Jinx. And even though they move the Kog'Maw up, Nighthawk actually sticks around for a little bit and catches out the Jinx 1v1, and Sarcasm can do nothing about it.
And the ball hits the Syndra. Can't she get close enough? She doesn't have ultimate because she used it in the grubs fight, but she's just still impacting. The Syndra is scared. I mean, this Cassante is very strong now. Garen not being able to capitalize on his ultimate for Cassante just wants the scrap now. He is going to fight every chance he gets, but Wukong is here. The all out, there's no all out here for the Cassante, so he's just going to try to get back to Gary. He uses his E to dash away. The ultimate surely to come out from the Garen. Eventually does get the shutdown onto Garen with the help of Wukong and his ultimate 2. Eventually it was bound to happen. I may or may not have just cast a curse to Jace a little bit. But Sante does fall. He does have CP though, so he should be able to answer this wave. And Blood Moon is grabbing the dragon. They do have the prio for it since Wukong was top.
Wait, mid lane actually is kind of huge here.
Does Syndra get the kill? Her Q does land, getting the solo Q onto the Victor.
Okay, so the solo lanes are trying to get something out of this game because this looks so hard just through the objectives and bot lane alone. But both solo lanes are able to pick it up a little bit there.
Get a solo kill.
And be that
kills
hope.
just on both of them. They get the gold. They get the shutdown onto the Cassante. Very, very huge. I mean, so
I don't know if Sarcasm can survive this.
I would be scared. I would be a little scared. I see Tom Kench there. I don't even want to be there anymore as the AD carry, but you got to tough it out. He's going to try to farm this wave. He should be able to with Rel there. I don't think they're going to dive because Rel has her ultimate along with her Q stun, so hopefully they don't die. But 3-1 Kog'Maw's a little scary. He's almost on Bork. He needs 400 gold to finish Bork, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
and even though Wuxi got that kill from the gank, he's down. Well, not just a level, but this looks super dangerous. You're talking about Garrett just pressing R.
Coming in from Sante, pushing him out, but Garrett immediately flashes away. He's a little scared. We do see sleep coming out of the Lilia. Tom Kench does go in, but he is taking tower aggro, and Grell keeps him inside. He is 1 HP. Jinx Rocket comes out. She is hyper. Can she get anything else off that ultimate? The ultimate coming out of Rel, getting a 3-man stun. They're all knocked up. Syndra is here to get the cleanup. And Jinx is so close to the Kog'Maw. Can Kog'Maw get the trade? Kog'Maw gets the trade, and he is still moving, getting that HP. Can he get the trade onto Rel? He has the passive. Can he get the kill onto Rel?
Nah, that feels too much.
She'll have enough HP. Syndra also got another kill. She's just on fire right now. The Syndra now being 3-0 is very, very ahead of the Victor. I mean, with the item advantage as well, with her being on that Luden's companion, she does a lot of burst damage.
Yeah, we just saw about a 3k deficit shrink to about 1,000 deficit. Like, this is huge for Divine Temple.
That was a very, very big Rel ultimate. That Rel ultimate was insane with the follow-up from the Syndra. From Syndra E, it was very, very devastating. And that's what we were talking about early on in the draft. Their CC chain is immense, right?
I like
if they can what do you got?
I was just gonna say Wookie's trying to zone out a Syndra because she missed her CC, but that's still double buff Syndra. Like, I would have been a little scared there.
Oh
Looks
yeah,
like Tom
no,
Kent
you
is
ain't
here
stopping
too, though.
Syndra. I mean, Syndra's gonna do exactly what she wants. Rel is here. Can they hit the anything on this Tom Kench? Rel is a little caught out. I don't think they have the damage to really do anything to Tom Kench right now, but they are building something here. They're only on 1,000 gold at 13 minutes.
Resilience moving
Everybody's
up,
here
so they
besides
want to
top lane,
force.
but Kog'Maw is here. Jinx is not. Can they get something from it? Kog'Maw needs 2 more
Oh
autos.
my
He
God,
gets
Kog'Maw's too
ult
far,
by the
Tom
Tom
Kench
Kench
ult.
to save him from the Wukong ultimate. Wukong ultimate second chance comes back in. Kog'Maw gets killed. Eventually, we see Victor fall and Wukong fall as well, but Kog'Maw gets the kill onto the row. Santé get the solo kill up at the top when Garen does fall, and so
Huge
does
shutdown.
Syndra. They just come
Wow.
back. They hey, look, you guys got lucky on that fight. We're going to come back, fight you again. The difference in AD carries matters here. Kog'Maw is very, very fed, up 15 CS, even with Jinx farming down in the bot lane, and he was there for that fight. And
Jinx was just
changed.
getting a plate and maybe sending a rocket. Didn't even send one, actually.
Kog'Maw had got like 2 kills, and so he is a little strong. I mean, it's just like, if your AD carries there, you win the fight. Fortunately not. Jinx Rocket does miss the grubs, doesn't get the reset onto the Tom Kench here. And they get all 4 grubs for the side.
I really want to force. Look at Cassante. He's on the enemy jungle.
Kog'Maw is just out of range, but she does get cubed by the Rel. Ultimate coming out. Traps coming out as well. Jinx is hyper getting the trade onto the Tom Kench finally. And Syndra killing the Kog'Maw, getting the shutdown there. I mean, Syndra is very strong, and Jinx gets 1 kill in a really late team fight. You could see her take an entire 4 towers. You know,
Yeah,
so
and it feels like Blood Moon is firing on all cylinders like they were in game 1. But Divine Temple says, absolutely, we can do that too. And instead of just eking out some escapes or anything, they're making plays of their own, surviving with counter kills, and just absolutely bringing this game back in a place where game 1 didn't even get to.
So Victor getting that first turn is so good for him, especially with Syndra getting all those kills. But you see Rift Herald mid. I mean, they're trading towers. So, I mean, this 2K deficit right now is very much able to be decreased like that. I mean, we will see. And suddenly, can they get this Rel? I mean, I don't think they will, but push her off. Try to be able to get this vision onto this bot side river before Dragon starts. We'll see. I'm really excited to see these fights in top lane because Cassante has currently just been doing exactly what he wants.
He's a problem for sure.
Yeah, he might be a problem. As Jinx, I would be like, if he is off mission, you are scared. You are playing very safe.
I mean, even Wuxi is scared here under tower. This counter pick is not working out for him. I'm not sure how he's going to get into the late game and actually be able to meet that 1v1.
Definitely a matchup. Garen's very strong when he's ahead, but if he's behind, he's kind of not the best champion in the world. You know, he can split push, but his fighting is like subpar. Getting the first Q, we see 2 Qs land. Can the Q3 land? Will he go in for it? You know he's Cassante. He's gonna do it, and he misses, but he's still a lot of damage.
Well, he tried.
Garen. Hey, he tried. That's more than a lot of people would have done. You know, but him just keeping Garen there is enough. I mean, Garen has no TP, can't affect the map anywhere but here. We do see the Wukong on the grubs here, possibly trying to see if they can repeat what got Garen his first kill. I mean,
I think that this is good timing. Like, Syndra's not that. I mean, she can just
into the
back
Wukong,
off, right?
All out. Can he get to the Garen? The Super Mega Deck Rocket does miss. Can he kill one? It looks like Jake is going to be able to clean up. We do see the flash of the Wukong, but he's just flashing into Rel. He is very weak.
Oh, don't give it to Rel.
He'll get the Cassante 3-6, and Garen just ults him. It might be a waste of a Garen
top lane diff.
Garen just
top lane choice.
Gets the kill. But Syndra is up 2 levels here, but she's being chased by this Victor. Victor ultimate coming out here, forcing Syndra to flash. We do see Tom Kench here. I don't know why Syndra... Syndra was running towards Blue Tower. I mean, she almost gets the trade onto Victor. We do see the Victor flash and Syndra flash. No flashes on the mid laners. Victor getting a little bit of payback.
That was such a top lane mentality of Wuxi. Like, Jinx was coming in to collect the kill, and Wushi's like, nah, I need this 1v1 matchup and ults for the kill.
He just ulted him. There's 4 of them there. He was gonna die. But
I get it, though. I get it. You know what?
I understand.
You're not leaving me. You're not leaving me against Cassante without a kill.
Anyways.
Right.
Jinx, you're gonna be strong anyways. I need this now. And then so he's 2 and 3. He's got his little stride breaker. I mean, I'm really worried about the Wukong. He still hasn't been able to get any traction. I mean, his other laners have been, and Jinx as well. but he's kind of behind this Lilia right now. Lilia being 2-1-5 is very, very strong if she gets onto her targets in Lantern E or any of her abilities for that matter.
Yeah, it seems like they're maybe matching the Cassante with Syndra. They haven't committed Corn yet, but that's where it's looking like. I think Cassante will get this tower.
Yes, 100%. He'll get the tower.
And it's
okay.
Just a little bit of a pause. I see it might get a
Just
little
pause
bit
for
of a
like 2
brief pause
seconds.
for us too.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it. Either way, Garen versus Victor seems a little bit easier for Garen. He might not get as much farm as he would like, but he's not gonna die either. But Syndra, on the other hand,
Oh, Garen, dude, Cassante being able to just unstoppable Syndra's E just makes it so easy for Cassante to jump on, and that's why they swapped it. That's why they were okay with this. You know, Cassante being able to build this lead, and he's building MR right now is such a perfect time for him to fight Syndra. So they should be able to get this tower here in mid lane. I mean, that tower will fall. Jinx has to back off a little bit. Wukong is bot. Maybe they might be able to dive this Jinx or this Rel. Sante's going to fight Garen again. It's only a 1-level deficit this time, but Lilia is here instead of the Wukong. Garen steps up too far. Maybe she hits another ability and just ults him. And
yeah,
comes
the
in and fights him
Wukong's
again.
actually splitting bot lane as if he was a solo laner, so that's kind of interesting.
I mean, at this
think he has to back
point,
off here.
he needs to catch up in CS, but I don't find that is going to be the way to catch up to this Lilia, who is sitting in his own jungle. Kog'Maw here
speaking
with
of
the
sitting in
Wukong being
jungle.
ulted. We do see the Victor is here. Tahm Kench is here as well. If the Wukong flashes, he dashes away. Tahm Kench is right there. Great Abyssal dive going onto the Wukong. The jungle does not hit. Can they get to this Wukong? No, it looks like the cavalry has arrived with the
they're all in on
Rel.
this.
She's in on two, but Kog'Maw's Bork is shredding this Rel with his enhanced out off his W. Oh my. See, look, you don't need to die. You don't need to get the kill, man. You just got to bait them a little bit. And that's all Kog'Maw did. He baited and he got the kill. So really,
I mean, that's
he
like
did his
Kog'Maw
job.
with a Kench for sure. Kog'Maw with a Kench just face checking the enemy jungle in their jungler, doesn't care.
They're like, don't worry, our Kog'Maw doesn't bite. Our Kog'Maw bites. Their Kog'Maw definitely packs a punch with the Rage Blade and the Bork. That Rel got shredded only having that Warmogs. I mean, Kog'Maw just takes away your HP. Hits you with 4 autos, and that Rel is dead. I mean,
yeah.
Kog'Maw at this
2-item
stage of the game
Kog'Maw is not to be trifled with.
No, yep. And Tahm Kench now having that plated Steel Caps Heart Steel combo. He is not going to take a lot of damage from Garen, Wukong, and Jinx.
The setup's kind of awkward. The Jinx gets immediately ulted
up
by
coming
Lilia.
out from the Lilia. But Tahm Kench getting the Heartsteel sack. He's just smacking people around. Rel engages, but there is nobody to follow up here. She's way too far. Kog'Maw is just going to take her down. We do see the Syndra E coming out. Syndra ult going onto the Kog'Maw. Wukong being able to finish off Kog'Maw, but does his pass to do anything? No, sirree. Tahm Kench getting the kill on Syndra. Victor's trying to get away from this Wukong, but he is just speeding around the map. Jinx flashing over the blue buff to get away, but now Garen, Jinx, Wukong, it is now a 3v3 matchup down here. Cassante is here.
Wukong go for the hero play?
He might try to get away, but you have Tahm Kench's Q does hit onto him with that slow. Cassante is going to try to track. The Q3 does land onto this Wukong, and I'm spelling the end for the jungler of the side of Divine Temple. They should be able to get the dragon now with no jungler on the side of Divine Temple. Willie should be able to do this with ease. Garen is sticking around, though, for Wuxi. He's going to see what he can do, but Cassante should be able to take care of him. He doesn't... Look how much damage he takes from Garen.
They do get the TP out, though, so it's not the
Victor.
most worse.
I mean,
it's
but
not the worst
looks like he should be able to finish Garen. Garen does flash away. Syndra being able to stun both of them is huge damage onto the Victor, but Cassante is just chasing her down to 0. The tank assassin strikes again. Can he kill Cassante as well? Cassante ultimate comes out, almost kills the Cassante, but he's still alive. He's chasing everybody down. Jinx Berry does come out to save her life. We do see Rel getting the stun, using her dash, but Lilia does get the swing onto Drowsy coming out. 2-man Drowsy onto the spot lane. Abyssal dive going into the Jinx, and the Jinx falls to Victor.
Jace lives through all of that. He was the start of the fight. He was the end of the fight. He takes tower shots, Jinx ult, everything. He doesn't care.
Cassante and everybody else is following behind. And just from the last couple fights, Tahm Kench has 131 stacks on his Heartsteel. That is great. He said, "Hey, I don't need Warmogs. Give me Heartsteel. I want to fight." But really good on the side of Blood Moon.
I heard they changed the requirement of health for Warmog, so I'm just gonna make sure I meet it, you know? Just get
Yeah.
Heartsteel, unlimited
Oh,
health.
I love Heartsteel. It's so great. The damage on it is immense, especially for a champ like Tom Kench who just likes to fight. I mean, nothing wrong with it here. Blood Moon getting their reset, trying to get up before a little bit of tempo play. Try to see if they can take as much of the map as possible with the dragon being 3.5 minutes away. I mean, they want to see take as much map pressure as possible with this Baron.
Yeah, I don't know what avenue Divine Temple has back into this game. It's really got to be through the Jinx, right? But the Cassante is just unanswerable. Like, you saw what happened whenever Korn tried to answer it. That's not going to happen again. And Wuxi might have a better crack at it now, but then you're leaving the 4v4 on the other side where this Kog'Maw just shreds through everything. I mean,
Kog'Maw does
it's
a
just
lot of
really
damage.
disgusting.
And when he's autoing one, he's autoing everybody. With that Runon's Hurricane. So he does a lot of damage. I'm seeing the Frozen Heart coming out of the Tom Kench is such a valuable item here with the Garen Wukong Jinx. Makes it very hard for Jinx. If Jinx gets close to Tom Kench, she's probably gonna die. But I'm surprised I didn't see Syndra or somebody go burn instead. I mean, with the Cassante and Tom Kench, you know, opting for the Luden's Companion, Rabadons. Like you could easily see in a Leandre's Syndra here. But opted to go for more of the burst damage to try to kill the Cogbo.
Okay, here is the 4v4 we were talking about, but Tom
We do
Kench
see
is
the
kind
roll
of caught out.
going in onto the Tom Kench. Does he get stunned by the Victor? No. But Wukong is definitely dead. Kog'Maw just has so much range, hitting only W's. He didn't even do anything else with the Lilia ultimate coming out on the rest, but Syndra says
huge
no
stun.
with that stun. Yes. Santi says, hey, you have no stun now. I'm on my way. And he's just traps coming out from Jinx, trying to protect herself. Here we do see a 3-man stun, but they do have Baron, and they aren't as strong as what Blood Moon is. We do see the E land on Syndra. Look at all that poke. Oh my, Garen is getting chunked here. We do see Cassante going forward here. Can he get anything? Relish just getting smacked, trying to give Cassante that Q3 back up, and
no one
back.
can stop him.
Can he get one? He's going for the Jinx. He does get the Jinx knock up.
With the stun
And the
from
ball
hell.
barely misses the Jinx. They do get the inhib here. Dragon is up in a minute 40. They're like, hey, look, we don't want to end the game yet, even though we have Baron. We're going to see maybe we can get bot tower and try to get this. So Cassante opting for the top lane with his TP being up, can go back to Dragon if he so pleases. But honestly, he doesn't even need to. They have to answer him. They're going in on the cover, realizing he's going to go, but he's ulted by the Tom Kench here. Tom Kench spits him out back in the and then gets a kill onto this Garen. Bissell dives out. They're trying to go for Victor next, but Victor is a little too fast for them. But the stun coming out from Syndra. He flashes away, but can he get away? No, Syndra does finish him off. Sante is TP.
Can't fight the support.
Tom Kench might finish the Jinx first. And then Wukong flashes in and realizes the big bad boys of the Cassante and Tom Kench are waiting for him. Syndra's the only one left. And all they got was Victor and Kog'Maw. They should be able to do this drag and get the soul, but Casante's now going to push out bot with no more Baron being on the side of Blood Moon. Should not matter. Can Tom Kench reach this Syndra before she gets away? No, doesn't seem like that. But huge fight of the Blood Moon. I mean, good attempt on the side of Divine Temple, but they really just don't have the gold to actually beat them. And right now are just currently getting money gapped.
That's one of the funnest things you see from Cloud Gaming whenever like you just like are completely in their faces, like you can't do anything, and you're a little lazy. Your Kog'Maw gets completely caught out, but it doesn't matter. Right? Yes, they were able to save the Kog'Maw. He dies later, but they
Cassante going in just all outing this Syndra, seeing what he can do. He's trying to see if he can get another one. He gets the ult. We do see the Garen ultimate coming out to Cassante, trying to save that Syndra, but it didn't end up having Jinx getting the kill onto Cassante here. Jinx opting for the Collector instead of the IE or the Runon's Hurricane. A little bit of an interesting choice, especially playing into those two tanks, but opting for that one-shot ability of her Q and just being able to DPS and one-shot everyone. Well, they hadn't started the Dragon yet here. They're literally just now starting the Dragon. I mean, Garen's the only one opting to, like, actually attempt anything, but that Dragon is gone. Solo for the side of the Blood Moon here. Can they get this Garen? We do see a little bit of poke. The TKQ does hit here. Can he ult? He opts to ult him here. He's going to spin him back into Kog'Maw. Garen has to flash. And it looks like Garen should be able to get away because he's Garen and he can just Q. But the Abyssal Dive does come out. They are going to try to chase. Q doesn't land. Traps out of Jinx, saving the Garen's life. I mean, but he did get his flash and he did ultimate last fight. So he has TP.
Yeah, and that was
but-
just Garen trying to look at the soul like, hey, I see you doing that over there. And all he got for it was losing his flash. It's just a
Yeah,
bit unfortunate.
I mean, Tom Kench is a little strong right now, guys. He has that 2 items, but he's 7-2-9 as a support. That man is no support. He is the second top laner. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Kench had more health than Wukong at this point, or just tankier
we can check
in general.
what's okay. So in general, Tom Kench has 3690 HP, and then instead of Wukong, has 2800.
Yeah.
So Garen has.
And Resilient just gets to play in their faces. He doesn't
Yeah, they
care.
just
Like
get to
Tom
do-
Kench isn't
they-
even here. It doesn't matter. Ocean
Yeah,
Soul is
they're-
more than enough for him.
Every single player on the side of Blood Moon can get a solo kill. Even the support. I would be terrified. And they have Ocean Soul on a champion like Lilia. Like,
Oh.
like everybody has like a small mini Warmogs now. But
Okay,
they're gonna
so
try
this
to
is your
index towards
desperation?
top. This is a desperation fight. They are looking for
Yeah.
a pick. Sante's on the flank though, and they don't see him here because he has the shot, but he's just gonna go take the tower. They're pinging. We do see the ultimate not being held here because he's gonna get 2 instead of 1. The Wukong and the Garen. Victor's gonna finish him off, but Lilia does get the finishing blow onto Garen here.
But
Victor is a
Sante's
little
not
bit HP.
even
The
here.
Super Mega Death Rocket does get the Victor, but he gets slept, and Lilia cleans up this Jinx. They get
And
2 for
Cassandra's
1, and
not even
Casante's
here.
still pushing. Casante's not even here. He's just pushing. He's taking the base. Ro is weak. We do see the ball coming out. Did it hit the Ro is the question. It did not. She dives away. And now they are just left with 3 to defend the base. No Jinx. No Garen. Can they get 1? That's the question. Wukong is just running away from the Kog'Maw, who is trying to chase him. Can Kog'Maw catch up to Wukong? He hits the ultimate. Casante is here. He's just all outing the Syndra. He gets the Wukong. He gets the Syndra. He's just going to fight the support until the game is over. 1 tower down for the side of Blood Moon. The second one soon to fall. Casante hitting the Q3 with the and Wukong is here. Garen's going in for the last hope, and he doesn't fall, but he is close. Wukong.
Well, he lives barely, but I
He
don't think
lives
it
the
really
side of
matters.
Nexus here, retreating into base. Ro wants to go out with some dignity. She dives in, but the Nexus does fall. Game 2 was a banger, but wasn't the thing that Divine Temple wanted to see. 2-0
Yeah.
for the side of Blood Moon. I mean, honestly,
I did like how Divine Temple, played better in game 2 than game 1. At the
I
end
mean,
there,
definitely.
yeah, things were not close.
I mean,
but
I think
for the first
Yeah,
half
you
of
go.
game 2, it was very good. It was very much better than game 1. The game plans were coming out. You could see how Jinx and Syndra could carry. It just didn't quite get there.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I think, a lot of things you could blame it on, strategic advantage, right? You could blame it on Casante getting solo kills, right? But when I look at these items, I don't exactly agree with I don't know exactly what Divine Temple was trying to do. Because I mean, like, Syndra, understandable. I don't think Kraken Collector was the move onto the Jinx. I mean, I think Kraken, i.e. Runon's Hurricane, is pretty good on her. I mean, she hasn't really
Play
built
devil's
anything
advocate.
different.
To
Yeah,
play devil's
no.
advocate. Okay, so here's my 2 cents, to see why
Okay,
a
of
player
course.
would build this.
Yes.
You saw Resilient get caught out a few times. Now, of course, Tom Kench had ult, so it didn't matter. You saw Victor get caught out, Wookiee Monster get caught out a few times. Say you've got a Collector Jinx, it's pretty equivalent, maybe a little bit more damage than Infinity Edge whenever you got only 25% crit, and they're low armor targets. You get the reset, and then it doesn't matter that your items are bad. That's my devil's advocate, best case scenario.
I'm a little confused. I understand that it could be good, right? In the right circumstances when you're ahead. The thing was, Jinx was never ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's unfortunate. It's like building Collector on Master Yi. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you only do it when he's
unfortunate.
stupid and ahead. You know what I mean? And he just cues you and then you're dead. But I mean, yeah. I mean, it looks like just overall bot lane it was a little bit of a difference in the bot lane because the support Tom Kench didn't get banned, and then he played it again and did exactly what he did game 1.
Yeah, I said he was gonna have to
When they were
do
about
something
die.
different. Absolutely didn't.
No, he just ulted Kog'Maw, and the Kog'Maw didn't die, and Kog'Maw killed your entire team. I mean, it's unfortunate for the side of Divine Temple, but it's a lot of it came down to just solo kills. solo kills and
Yeah.
2v2 skirmishes. It wasn't the team fights. Like they played really, really good team fights. We were saying, like they were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But it didn't matter because everybody you were fighting, and then on the other side of the map, people are dying. And
Yeah.
you can't be dying
Also,
everywhere.
the rotations were just so awkward for Divine Temple, unfortunately. Like they had the right idea whenever they moved the rel first. They had the right idea whenever, they wanted one person to, farm up while the other team held, but it just never worked out for them. You saw they couldn't force whenever the rel was there and the other bot lane wasn't. And then whenever Jinx tried to move because Resilient moved, suddenly Jinx is getting soloed by Tom Kench. So it just it's like the right idea, wrong execution, or wrong idea for some of them. Because there are times whenever Sarcasm was farming bot lane, and there's just a huge fight mid that you would have begged for Jinx to be in, but unfortunately, it just didn't work out. Whether it was that Sarcasm didn't call for that fight to not happen, or I think it was Squigs was able to find that fight, despite Divine Temple trying to disengage it. It just a few key mistakes like that snowballed the game so heavily.
Yeah. I mean, when you're both teams, I think you go to this VOD after this series, and you kind of it's very hard to learn from a win, but I think there's stuff that Blood Moon can look at and be like, okay, look, maybe we while we are ahead, sometimes these gambles aren't working out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And because there's always stuff to clean up, and then on the side of
I, I've
Divine,
been I've been in that conversation before. It's just your coach is like, "Why did you have your Kog'Maw face check their jungler?" And you're like, "Dude, I'm up 20k. I have a Tahm Kench.
yeah,
The game is
it's like
over.
yeah, it's
Why
like
do
a
you
bad
care?"
idea to do it, but it's like you can do it, but you don't want to get in the
Exactly.
habit of that. So that's my
Sure,
advice is
sure.
there. But I mean, when you're side of Divine Temple, I think you have a lot of opportunity to grow. I think the games could
Absolutely.
be really, really close because you could see in team fights they were going really well. But you have to clean up the solo play. You got to clean it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
I also
the
think that the coordination was a little bit off too. I mean,
yeah, a little
the
bit.
fact that I don't know about the jungle pathing, like who called that, who decided what went where, but it felt like Squigs was always on the right side of the map, and unfortunately Half was just able to make one or two plays, but not really able to coordinate that into anything major.
Yeah. No, definitely agree. But we won't. It won't be the first. Is this only the first time we're seeing these teams? Like we talked about,
Yes.
clean
Hmm.
slate. So now you have stuff to worry. Now you have stuff to look at, and I think that's always very informational and interesting for a team. It's just being able to look at something, especially in a loss, and be like, okay, we're starting here. We can get to here. We know this. So I mean, we'll have to see how the season goes for both teams. We could see two different stories happen. I mean, maybe we'll see this matchup again. I could feel it.
Absolutely. And I think by then the team synergies will be a little bit higher for Divine Temple. Maybe the solo lane will be a little bit more cleaned up. I mean, you saw the glimmers at least. It wasn't a complete stomp, right? It looks like that
Yes.
because of the goal deficit. It looks like that because of the 2-0 score. Maybe even the draft you could say was a bit of a deficit. But at the end
Yep.
of the day, there were glimmers where you saw just like they were on the right idea. They just need a little bit of refinement and it'll make huge changes. So I wouldn't call Divine Temple out just because they lost the first game in this kind of 2-0 fashion, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, I don't think I have any other notes on this game. I mean, do you have anything else?
I am looking forward to see how the clown organization does in the future, especially whenever they might be challenged more in draft or perhaps in rotations. I'm curious to see how their team fights are whenever they aren't monstrously ahead, especially.
Yes.
um, and I think that they have a lot of room to show why people have them as almost like the favorites of the sector for sure. So, yeah, I think
Definitely.
that's basically it for us. Thank you guys for joining us for sure. And we will see you again either tomorrow, for Warden or for Crusader if you want to come back next week for that as well for week 2.
All right.
Thank
You
you
guys
guys
have a
for
nice
watching
time.
us.
Yep.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.